Hi, Tony Selzer here. Welcome to the line. We've reaching out and we're in Silicon Prairie in Nebraska. We have found a great company helping nonprofits really embrace the digital convergence that's going on in the marketplace, that's happening in marketing right now. I've got Jay Wilkinson, who's the CEO and founder, and as he would call it, the chief technologist with social skills over there. So Jay, how did you come up with this concept, and what started this business that you got going here?
We originally got into doing website development in the mid 1990s, actually, all the way back when Al Gore gave us this wonderful gift of the internet.
Yeah.
And we got our start doing just a lot of local, regional stuff. We actually lay claim to having done in the late 90s, the Backstreet Boys band website was the pinnacle of our 90s website career.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun.
Much like the Backstreet Boys, we kind of spun out and ended up doing the wrong move and didn't survive that end of the focus because it really wasn't interesting to us. During that process, we kind of combined our passion for technology and website development with our desire to make impact. And everyone in our company at the time, we were all wired in a similar way. We wanted to do something for a living that had deeper purpose. And we evolved the tools that we had created to really fit into the nonprofit sector. So we built essentially platform tools that makes it really easy for a nonprofit organization to essentially manage all things related to technology and their organization in one place. So they come to our dashboard, and from there they can manage their website and their blog and their event registration, donor data, and they can manage their members. They can take donations in a really professional way without having to send people off their website to PayPal and other things. And we have very transparent and very effective pricing. So it's far less expensive for a nonprofit to work with us than it is to work with a PayPal or someone like that. Because we're in it not to make money. Our purpose as a company is to leverage our people and our products and our profits as a force for good, not to create shareholder value, like most companies would say.
Well, and I think I think you're even being modest. Because what your platform does is really a content management system. It's an email marketing system, right?
Correct,
it's a donor management system. And all that is converged into one simple way for these nonprofits that really have missions that go, let's face it, we're all on boards for these things. That is an afterthought for them. And it certainly doesn't need to be the overhead that a lot of these marketing automation and CMS platforms can be for these organizations. You're describing what could be tens of thousands of dollars of software a month, and you're delivering this for between $50 and $500. So that's pretty significant impact that you're making, right? And then you're taking that and you're wrapping services around that, which includes coaching to get them to learn how to use this and make impact for their organization. And that's a whole nother level, right?
Yeah. You've hit the nail on the head. We're very excited that we can have some way to create impact that makes it possible for the great organizations we work with to go out into their market and make impact at whatever their mission or cause is. That's what we're all about, is providing that leverage.
So when you were coming up with this, what was the aha moment that kind of made the stars align for you to know that this was not only the niche you were going after, but the kind of that moment of inspiration or illumination that said, not only is this who we're going after, this is what they need, and I've got to create it for them.
Yeah, and I know really precisely where the moment where we chose this path is. It was when I was in high school. I went to a leadership retreat, a leadership workshop, 5 days with other high school students, learning how to be a leader in my school and community. And prior to that, I was an athlete, and like any 15-year-old kid, my world revolved around me and my friends. Yeah. And I went to this leadership camp, and it changed my world. It just kind of rocked me off my base. And I realized that there's a lot more out there than me. There are things that I can do to help others and to escalate this. And so there was this quotation. It hung on the wall in the room, in a little room of 10 people, where we where we got into small groups. And it was from Stephen Grillet. It's the quotation that many people have probably heard. I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness I can show, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again.
Right.
And as a kid, that I internalized that. And growing up later in business, I pulled this out of an old folder sometime around the late part of 1998 and read it and realized that, this whole do it now thing just flashed off the page to me, and realized that instead of my original plan to build a business and get wealthy and then donate money and then they had build a building, or something.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Right.
And there's a way you can do that. So we now have 120 employees, and every one of them takes 1 day off a month with pay. Doesn't count against their vacation policy, and they go out into our community and donate their time.
Wow.
So it's part of our core mission. So building these tools and helping nonprofits leverage was a really intrinsically internal thing for us.
Yeah.
It was unquestionably, we started with the why.
Yes. It's so funny. This is when I was doing the review and your guys is doing my due diligence for this call. I mean, there were so many similarities between our organizations, leading with why and the purpose-driven, example that you guys are following. Very parallel swim lanes that we seem to be in, and serving entirely different target markets. But it's great that we can bring other organizations on and celebrate the collective good that is happening in the marketplace, because technology is the ultimate leverage, right? And to bring that ultimate leverage, or lever, if you will, to organizations like you are, I mean, that's the impact that you're doing, living on purpose and having the organization live on purpose. Hey, we're at 6 minutes, and I just want to, if you've got one thing you can tell any business owner or any nonprofit or whoever you're speaking to, and you want to let them know how to get to that place where they're on purpose in their business, in their life, in their organization, what would you tell them?
If you're a business and you're building a business and your company, say, is $500,000 or more in revenue, the number one recommendation I would have, a very, very tactical, practical input, buy a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. It's a book that talks about how to build a business and gives you a framework in how to build it. And if you start with the why, and then you have a strategic framework to build your business around, using this program called the Entrepreneur Operating System. And I know Gino, but he doesn't pay me anything to say this, but using this system as a framework to grow a business is the best advice I could give to any company. I think it's really remarkable what you can do, and you can scale and you can grow and you can keep everyone on purpose if you really do it right.
EOS is, I can't agree more, man. It's one of the best books written. Thanks so much. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.